Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to a Shenmue Dojo video. Today's video is talking about the Virtua Fighter Direct that happened overnight. For those of you who missed the Game Awards, Virtua Fighter is back. It was announced that a new Virtua Fighter game, I'm guessing 6 or a reboot, not quite sure yet, is coming. There was a small trailer with a little bit of gameplay, and then subsequently from that there was the Virtua Fighter Direct, which was held about 5 AM in the morning UK time, which I'm going to talk about a little bit here. Go through what they talked about, an appearance by Yu Suzuki himself, and then what it can mean for Shenmue. Now, you're probably looking at me going, Matt, why are you talking about Virtua Fighter? Now, for those of you who have been enshrined in the Shenmue community a long time and know the history, Shenmue derived from Virtua Fighter. So, Virtua Fighter was going to have an RPG starring Akira. That then morphed and changed over development. I'm not going to go into that here. And then became Shenmue. They used to share the same fighting engine. Ryo bears some resemblance to Akira as well. Some of his moves, he used Baji Quan, for example. And Yu Suzuki, obviously creator of Virtua Fighter, also, as you all know, made Shenmue. So there are these massively intrinsic links there between the two games. They're intertwined. Their history is very, very much shared, albeit going off in various different directions. Now, it must have been 18 years, I think, since we got a new proper Virtua Fighter entry. Obviously, we've had Ultimate Showdown kicking around, and we've got the version on PC coming over the winter as well. But the last proper entry, from my memory, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, was back as a launch title for the PlayStation 3. I remember picking that game up, Virtua Fighter 5, with my PlayStation 3. That's how long it's been, guys. That in itself is madness, absolute madness. But anyway, let's talk about Virtua Fighter Direct a little bit. So after the announcement of the Game Awards, we then had a half an hour Virtua Fighter Direct where they talked about the future of the series, showed off the demo again. They talked a little bit about Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, which is coming on to PC in the winter, which is insane in itself. They talked about the fact that it's now got an open Steam beta, which I'll put the link in the YouTube description below. I think it's available just around to the 16th of December, so not long, but long enough, I think, for people to get their teeth into it. So download that now if you haven't got there already. On top of that, they then talked about new Virtua Fighter merch, limited run games, are launching some fantastic merchandise for Virtua Fighter. I don't know if there's going to be more merchandise than that, but what they've done is got Virtua Fighter 2 merchandise with the Xbox on it, and you've got art cards, a soundtrack, in an old Sega Saturn case as well, and you've then got Virtua Fighter Ultimate Showdown physical release for PlayStation 5 and a collector's edition with that as well, which includes a statue of Akira, soundtrack, Saturn case. Again, limited run games have done a bloody brilliant job with that. My wallet is going to take a real big hit here. Then they talked a little bit again about the demo for Revo, which has rollback net code, which is interesting in itself. Now, I don't know too much about what that means, so someone needs to fill me in on that. But I'm told it's a good thing. I don't know if it is, but I'm told it's a good thing. They are going to update Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown on PlayStation to balance the game out based on feedback. They then talked about Virtua Fighter 6 itself. It's been in development for around 2-ish years. Now, that would coincide by the murmurs that have been in the media over the last period of time anyway. I did a video a few months ago talking about how someone at Sega basically confirmed it was in development, and I've heard murmurs on the ground from various people over the years anyway that this thing was coming along, and it sounds like, from what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing, is some of the original team from Virtua Fighter are coming back to work on this game, which can only be a good thing for it. As I say, Virtua Fighter is a staple franchise. It was the first 3D fighter that, sadly, I don't think gamers have really given the respect to, because it's just been lost to the sands of time a little bit, lost to history, but it's back now. And they really want to make it a global thing here. And that's the big thing they want to do with Virtua Fighter. They want to make it global. So they're going to start hosting tournaments as well, worldwide. Which, again, you raise that profile of the game. And you just, I don't know, hopefully just get that game into the modern sort of plethora of gamers that are out there. You may need to tweak it. I hope they don't go too far away from the Virtua Fighter formula. But I am really, really excited to see how this does in the modern era. And it's getting a well-deserved, proper balls in relaunch, and that is what everybody for this franchise wanted, including me. I love Virtua Fighter. I've played pretty much every game. I suck at it, but I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. Now, to pick up on a point that I made earlier, is that the original team, or some of the original team, are in fact coming back, which is great, because then you're going to have that grounding in the game and the mechanics and how it's all going to run. They then, as part of it, I guess, of the presentation, you talked about original team. What about the creator himself, Yu Suzuki? Well, he conducted a very short interview talking about the history of Virtua Fighter, how it's evolved over the years. He talked about how now it feels very close to Shenmue. You can feel some faint Shenmue hints in Virtua Fighter now, which again is fantastic. And I'm great to see Shenmue being mentioned on a Sega channel, because it's always nice. And I think also from my point of view, seeing Yu Suzuki talking about his creation, that iconic creation, it's mad. 30 years ago this thing came out, and it revolutionised gaming. I don't care who you are, where you are, Virtua Fighter was one of those revolutionary titles and deserves far more respect than it gets, as does Yu Suzuki for creating it. And unfortunately, the way things happened at Sega, he's off on his own, doing his own things. It pains me a little bit, just a little bit, that he's not at Sega heading this thing up, and deservedly so. I think he should be, but things move on, things happen, it is what it is. But I'm so pleased that they've at least spoken to him about this. I suspect he's had some sort of input. There's the original team there. He met with the executive director of Virtua Fighter a few years ago as well. I suspect he's been at least consulted on this thing, which is fantastic to see. Obviously, that's just my opinion. I have nothing to back that up other than what I'm putting together. Now, I'm going to link this to Shenmue. I have to. It's the Shenmue channel after all. And I guess then people are looking at me going, so why talk about Virtua Fighter and Shenmue? Well, I've explained at the top of the video, but I'm more thinking here around what they can do with the new Virtua Fighter title to include Shenmue in it. Now, let's just be frank here. I do not think Sega are going to pick up a Shenmue 4. Not especially now they've got that Century project running, which does look fantastic. I think in terms of a Shenmue feel, that had a little bit of it. The fighting there is a bit more violent perhaps. I just don't think Sega are going to pick up Shenmue. I'd love to be wrong, but I just don't think they are. But what they can do, and it's relatively low risk here, is they could put in like Shenmue DLC, characters, jackets, customization items, music potentially as well if they really wanted to. Maybe a stage, just something to recognise that history. And Shenmue turns 25 this year as well. So what better way to add that in and celebrate that a little bit by just tipping the hat, little nod to say, all right, we're not going to do anything necessarily, but we recognise the history, the link between Virtua Fighter and Shenmue, and you put in some Shenmue characters, some customization options for the characters that are in the game already. I think it's relatively low risk. I don't think people are going to read too much into it if they did go ahead and do it. We know you're going to get Yakuza, like a Dragon characters or customization items in the game because it's RGG Studios who are making this thing. But why couldn't they just pop in some Shenmue stuff? And given some of the VF team, RGG team, worked on Shenmue as well, they could easily do it. I don't know. I really don't know. But I think it's a missed trick. It's missed money for everybody. And I just think it'd be a gesture of goodwill to everybody around this project, in my opinion. The other thing that people are picking up in the Discord is that essentially that there might be a chance for Virtua Fighter Engine in a Shenmue 4. Now, I wouldn't ever wholly rule this out, but being frank, I don't think it will happen. Just straight up right now, I don't think they're going to put the new Virtua Fighter Engine in a Shenmue 4 game. I could be very, very wrong. If they could find the way to do it, the budget to do it, could make it work from a technological standpoint, fantastic, and do it. Do it. I just don't think, unfortunately, it's going to happen. Just my opinion on that, because I think it's too removed from Shenmue now in terms of the links and the perception of it potentially. Shenmue 3 obviously had its new fighting engine, and then there's this other discussion around, do you want to then implement another engine? It gets quite complicated. A little glimmer, maybe, but I just don't think that's on the cards, unfortunately. I want to give a shout out to Matt S and Retro Lord over in the Discord who managed to summarise the VF Direct for me really, really quickly. That's been really helpful just to then help me collect my thoughts while I made this video. So thank you guys for that over in the Discord channel. It's so much appreciated and you didn't have to do that, so thank you very much. As always, don't forget to be a member of this channel for £2 a month. Get all the videos ahead of time, all the usual spiel that I give here. Nothing's locked behind a paywall. If you don't, it's fine. It just ends up in the normal scheduling system that I have. All the money goes to running the website. And again, guys, thank you so much for persevering. I'm struggling a little bit. It's early-ish, I guess. But also, having been up watching the Game Awards, I really wish I'd have streamed it because I think it'd been fantastic to stream. I'm really, really tired. Thank you for dropping on the content. Stick around. There'll be more videos coming out in the not too distant future. And I'll see you all soon. Take care, guys. Have a good one.